What's that?
All right,
is
way
when I
late, but now we're
teach
video recording. Sorry,
stats,
video
and
listeners.
people don't know how to use Excel because they've never been taught in high school or middle school.
I don't know how to use Excel.
It's a time, dude. It's such
Excel,
a good program.
Excel is how you would type math problems. Like if you
Yeah.
want to solve for a y, it's y equals, cut out the y and just hit equals and then like no spaces, type the rest of your math problem. I don't think it does variables really well, but
See, here
sometimes.
was my thing.
yeah.
I didn't learn how to use Excel,
Mm-hmm.
but my school like was still teaching people how to use bandsaws. So that's where like a lot of
We
my
didn't have
classes-
bandsaws. That's
You know.
you know what? You got me beat there. Although my dad has a bandsaw, so like there's that. I picked up
Fun
pretty
fact, a lot of people probably don't realize about me, but yeah, a lot of my high school was shop class. Like I was a shop kid, hardcore. Like
honestly, we need
every metal class we had, every
I would
wood
love
shop class we had, aside from our like actual construction trades where you went out and built houses, because that's just
yeah. Like when school's in sessions, not great home building weather.
and it was one of them
yeah,
things where it's like I knew I'd get in trouble if I did that, because all the other kids just went and like smoked cigarettes and chewed and all that, and I'm like, well, yeah, I'm gonna be fucking caught smoking weed first fucking week. Like this is not
nice.
This is not what I want to do.
Back when weed wasn't legalized yet.
Well, it's still not legal for high schoolers to be smoking weed during class.
Ooh, so do we want to get political on a Smite podcast?
No, there's nothing political about that. Children should not do
Well,
drugs,
no.
especially not in school.
No. if you can fight for your country, I think you should be able to drink and smoke. Because like under 18, or you know, like you could be 18, join the army. I think 17 if you finish school soon enough. But yeah, not being able to have a beer, but being able to enlist.
See, I'm so torn on that.
Yeah.
Because I understand both sides very well, and both sides make a lot of sense. Right?
Like I'd be fine with it being like a military ID thing. Like you need the military ID to do it. Like if you enlist, then you can, you know.
Ooh, no. No.
No?
You're reserving rights just for people who do certain stuff?
It's called privileges.
I'll send you the link to the TikTok. There's the senator who's actually trying to pass that about raising the voting age up to 25 unless someone is a first responder or in the military.
Yeah.
I'll send you the video on why
you used to that's how it used to be for voting that you had to sign up for like
Depp,
first
you watched fucking Starship Troopers and thought that was a good idea, didn't you?
Listen, I did not.
You're like, hold up.
But now I might. Now I might.
Hold up. This guy's making some sense here.
Right.
Let's no. You only get your citizenship if you enlist. This is perfect.
Oh, please. We've got like the same chair.
We do.
Oh, my background. Yeah. My background's not. I'm trying to. It doesn't work.
On a whole like separate note.
There we go. I like it.
I was playing Diablo 4 last night because I have a problem. And,
hold up.
That's not the
Lean
thing.
your head.
Yep.
What chair do you guys got?
The racer chair.
GTR Racing?
No, okay.
GT Racing? Yeah.
And SGDQ's been going on all week. If you don't know what that is, it's Summer Games Done Quick. They do a lot of speed runs, and all the money goes to Doctors Without Borders. It's pretty dope. But my son really wanted to watch the Legends of Zelda Breath of the Wild run, but it didn't come on until late last night, so he's have to go back to watch it. I'm going to go to bed. And I turn on this speed run, and this man's blindfolded, beating Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild in under 2 hours. And I was like, look, like,
that's too much.
Know when you're that cracked at a video game? Like, when does that occur to you? Like, I could beat this blindfolded. Because I've done blindfolded Smite. And let me tell you, it was extremely difficult. I can't imagine doing a blindfolded open world game, and you know exactly what weapons you're picking up and where, and the food that you're going to get and cook it, and then fight the bosses. I mean, like, it's just wild.
Yeah.
All right. this was forever my biggest fucking flex in gaming. And probably still is, honestly, even though I can't do it no more. But y'all remember back in the day when you'd have like the individual plugins for your audio video, right? For your gaming systems?
Yep.
Yeah.
I had that for my Super Nintendo. That's the first one that came out with it, right? SNES first one that had the split AVs.
Yep.
I had a TV that didn't have AV cords, right? So we had to do this plug in through the VCR to then go coax into the TV.
Yeah.
Young people, I know this is making no sense to you. We had to just go through a few different routing things.
We had to actually know how to wire things.
Yeah.
To get them to work.
My family didn't know how to do this. I was like 5, 6 tops, right? Trying to figure all this stuff out. I couldn't get it completely like linked and all that, but I could get it to where the staticky sound didn't happen, right? The blank screen, and I had audio. And I had Donkey Kong Country loaded up, right?
Okay.
And going off just that for the first like 3 days until they actually figured out, like I think my parents actually came and fucking figured it out or whatever it was, however it got fixed. I figured out how to beat the first level of Donkey Kong Country using just audio cues.
That game's so good, by the way.
I never once saw the first level and I could beat it.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Well, and you know what's crazy about that game specifically? Fun lore fact of the day is if you listen to Donkey Kong Country's music, it has the most complex music of any Super Nintendo game made.
Its music is disgustingly good.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy?
Good. And it holds up to this day. And if people don't believe me, you listen to it if you used to watch Duke Sloth and you didn't fucking realize it.
Yeah. And here's what's crazy, right? If you go and you look at the size of files back then, you had to get it on that little tiny cartridge and you couldn't do it. The guy that did the music for Donkey Kong Country went and did all the code mathematically to compress the file down to get it to fit on the cartridge with the game.
I guess you're going to have to elaborate a little bit more on that. And
like
what that
he
means.
actually had to go do the programming.
He figured out
the different like sine, tangent, code, all the waves, like, and made it mathematically fit rather than just trying to upload the music file. Like he actually compressed it down. It was wild.
I don't know coding enough to. I understand compression to an extent, right? I just don't understand. I guess difference there.
Well, it's like having
I suppose that's the era pre-compression, isn't it? Huh?
Yeah, it is. Like we didn't have a way to just be like, haha, let's get this down to fit the side.
That's my modern age naivety. Of
it's just impressive
everything
he's able
auto
to
compresses nowadays. My bad.
It's just like, I mean, it's just crazy because if you go to listen to any other game's music in that time period, it just wasn't even close.
Well, it's because like Donkey Kong Country, it had instruments.
Yep.
Like you listen to it and it sounded like, and I'm not trying to take away from 8-bit music at all, but it sounded like some sort, I don't want to say full-fledged orchestra, but people were playing instruments to construct that, opposed to if you had Mega Man, right? You had like your classic Mega Mans and your fucking Super Mario. I guess that's the original one, right? No, that is number 2.
No, it is number 2. But I mean, like even still, like you go look at the Donkey Kong Country, it's like that da 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 da. I mean, like it's much more complex music. It's just crazy. It's just so good, so good.
Because then it has like multiple beats. Oh my god, and multiple instruments layered in there heavily. Yeah, I guess it's a fair comparison because that is like if you look at that and then you also have like the generation after where you have Final Fantasy 7, right? And that's like people hold that up like it's got some masterpiece soundtrack, which it does have a good soundtrack, right?
Yes.
That's like
Kingdom Hearts
a
also has a
generation
banger
after.
soundtrack, but that's a whole other topic of debate.
What'd you say? Hold up. You spitting
Kingdom
fire?
Hearts. Kingdom Hearts. Yeah.
Shut up. Shut up. That's like
I'm just saying the opening's good.
That's literally like
opening's a
if we're
banger.
out here being like, I heard Disney movies got some pretty good
No. I'm
soundtracks,
not
and you're
talking
like,
about the Disney
but
songs.
what about The
I'm not talking
Incredibles?
about.
It's like,
I'm
all
not
right,
talking
okay,
about the Disney
yeah,
movies.
all right.
I'm talking about the. Oh, if you listen to the opening song, like the non-Disney songs in that game, they are really, really good.
Yeah,
There
but
you go.
that's the same company that does the Final Fantasy.
I mean,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I'm
Same
agreeing.
difference.
Same difference. This is good. This is good music.
I'm not
Listen,
You know
gonna
what else
lie
has
though,
good
I
games
really,
with good
really
music
do
be having good
enjoy
music.
the song Sanctuary
Yeah.
in parts 2. That's a slapper.
Yeah. Sanctuary, bop.
Oh my god, hold up. We could use that for
Wait
an
a
outro
minute.
song, can't we? Because it's a game song, I think. We'll have
Yeah,
to check.
it is a game song. But
Fair use,
no,
right?
I wouldn't risk it.
Listen. If
Let's just put it
Disney
this way.
strikes us
Oh
down now,
yeah, no, hold up. That's
Because-
involving Disney. Yeah, let's
because I say-
not. Let's
Well, not only
not.
that, so like I don't know if you guys know, but like when Kingdom Hearts 3 came out and people wanted to stream it, you had to actively be playing the game. If you went to like a BRB screen, you had to play different music because there was a like possibility you received a strike because you're playing the game. They didn't want people just playing the music on their streams. That was a thing.
imagine.
But you know what has music you can listen to
What's
and
that?
really good audio quality that matters for your gameplay?
Huh?
Smite.
Smite game.
Yeah.
Hey, we do a Smite podcast, don't we?
Supposedly.
Mm.
You
No,
wouldn't
we're
you wouldn't know it based
actually
off this
audio
first
snobs
like
now.
You wouldn't know it.
you wouldn't know it
First,
based off this first 15 minutes,
the
but yes.
first 15 minutes wouldn't know. But we do play Smite. And you know what? My Smite games were exclusively with Fro Double G this week.
Oh my goodness.
And we played some yesterday. Or was it 2 days ago? One of the two.
Don't ask
We
for me
played
for
some games the other
confirmation.
day.
Fro's big tired.
We played some games the other day, and then we were playing some this morning, some cooldowns. And let me tell you, if we didn't win this last game that we played before you joined in here, Fro and I might just not have been able to play games together anymore because we were taking L's
Dep did
left
declare
and
that
right.
before.
Oh my god.
Like RNG has been horrific to us. Even when it's been good, it's been horrific. Like I got Fro's reroll of Thanatos. And I got that, but then
I can
we
speak on
had
some of my
4
rolls.
tanks. We had 4 tanks. And one of those was the Circuit, but Circuit built tank also.
Oh my god,
And-
that fucking game. That fucking game drove me over the edge, right? We're sitting here. We had what was it? It was like Xing Chen. It was I don't even fucking remember.
No.
We had 3
So
Guardians.
this
We had
one
3 motherfucking Guardians.
We had Maui, Shiva, Capri,
Okay, I'm sorry. 2
Circuit,
Guardians.
and me and Thanatos.
Yeah. And then we had Circuit and Thana. It's like, all right, this is kind of rough, but we got some fucking damagey ass assassins, right? We're gonna blow somebody up, and we're like fucking 5 minutes in, and I'm like, dude, what? We are just getting shit stomped. We can't kill anything. And if I remember correctly, the enemy team didn't have any tanks, right? Or they had just one.
No.
It was like a
They had
Kuzumbo or a
Shiva.
Kumba. Yeah,
They had a Shiva.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Shiva, Scylla, Thor, Chiron, Poseidon.
Yeah, so we're like, we should be dumpstering. Like, when we go in on somebody, they should just be dying, right? Because they got nothing to stop us. And I'm like, dude, why aren't we getting kills? Like, why isn't anybody dying? And I hit tab, and I notice Circuit's going tank. And my mentality just spiraled out of control at that point, because I was like, why in the love of why do you think we need a fourth fucking tank?
Yeah, that is not okay.
And then the game after that, we have Sun Wukong, Achilles, Jormungandr. Fro trades Sylvanas. He was feeling the Sylvanas. And then I was like, oh shit, we're all tanks. I rerolled it, got something ass. Fro rerolled it for me. We got Rat.
Oh my
Against now this enemy team. Hebo, Artemis, Chang'e. They have a Khepri and a Yu Huang.
Jesus.
So they have all the range in
Yeah.
you know,
These are assaults,
and
right?
these are assaults.
Oh, I got a game for you guys too then.
Hold on, I gotta do this last one because
Yeah.
Fro got Chernobog, where we were like finally like range damage, and we had a Poseidon, Jormungandr, Pele, and I was Cthulhu. So you're thinking, oh, not too bad. They had Eshell, Morgan Le Fay, Persephone with a Xing Chen and Chak.
Jesus, dude.
And the Chak and Xing Chen were, not to mention Jormungandr and Cthulhu. You can't see past your front line, and you can only do so much to peel without blocking line of sight.
Yeah.
It was just some rough RNG, and then we've playing the cooldowns this morning. It was sometimes Smite's just unfun for a little bit, and that's kind of how this week felt.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Let's hear
Yeah.
it, Blaze. Let's hear
Okay,
it.
so I played an assault this week. We load
Mhm.
in. We get 5 tanks, Guardians and Warriors. 5.
Mhm.
We re-roll 4 times, and we still ended up with 5 tanks.
Yeah.
We ended up with Vamana, Kerberos, Jing Chen, Hercules, Tyr. And I was like, okay, maybe we can do something with this. And then the enemy team loads up, and I'm like, oh, it's Martichorus, Poseidon, Chibalanke, Jingwei, and Geb. Yeah, unfun. This
Mhm. Yeah.
fun. And I have some beef with custom games too, by the way, because I did community night last night, and I got some beef with
Okay.
it. If I'm loading in a assault for custom games, and I have random pick because that's what assault is, then it should follow assault rules, and it doesn't.
Of the healer, and it doesn't.
Yeah, it
Mm.
doesn't. Also, my other favorite thing is I decided to up the cooldowns just for funsies because it's community night. I want to make it more fun. Someone got King Arthur, and they didn't find out until halfway through that his ult is infinite use at that point, and then the game became very unfun for us. So sad times, really.
Mhm.
Yeah, Smite's been something. I haven't played as much as usual this week just because we had our comp match on a Monday and we won 2-0. I had probably one of the sickest plays I've had in comp this season where
Mhm.
I'm in duo lane. Somehow they let Marty through and I was ready to party. And I did typical things I like. Oh no, I was Hachiman this game. Hachiman. And I do the typical Blaze thing where I'm like, I can push the tower, and the jungle is probably going to rotate over, and I'm probably going to die. But
Mhm.
I'm going to get their tower. Like I want
There
the
you go.
farm, and it's early enough in the game that like my death is a low respawn, so I'm not losing a ton of farm by pushing a wave under and dying.
Mhm.
And lo and behold, who comes over? Ratatasker comes
Mm.
flying out of the air. I'm like, oh, nice to see you, buddy. Beads. I got
Mm.
beads on his ult. I got the beads of the stun and his dash. I didn't get any of the CC on me. And we're trading. I die.
Mhm.
And I just start yelling, archers, 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 archers. And my archers did their job and they killed the
Hell
Ratatasker. They
yeah.
finished him off.
Nice.
And I was like,
Hell
oh,
yeah.
yeah, let's go.
Archer's OP.
I did also get to play Marty game 1, and that was a mistake that I do not know if it will get let through again this comp season, or at least until he's like heavily nerfed.
Mistake by the enemy team.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Let's just say it came down to the end of the game, and we're
Mhm.
over sieging a Phoenix, and my team wants to go, and I'm like, look, guys, I don't know if we should like full commit to this. I think we should try to bait him a little bit, and we full committed, and we got pushed out, and I'm getting shredded, and I come down out of my ult, getting chased down by a Kernanos. I don't even remember who else they had. I mean, everybody was there. It was bad.
Mhm.
It was not a fun time for me. I land. My solo pops Odin Cage, which slows off the Kurtanos, and he has to auto the cage down so he can't hit me. And my support, I think he was playing Sylvanas game 1, popped
Mhm.
Shell, and I just went ham. Like the passive popped, and
Mhm.
it was just like everybody was dead. GG's. I immediately killed Kurtanos. I killed their solo. I killed their jungle, and we just ran it down. So that felt good. Other
Passive
than that,
the passive popping in a
Oh,
fight,
dude, his passive is
it's
his
goofy
passive
to
his passive's OP.
yeah.
Like like they keep nerfing other parts of his kit. And I'm like, you need to nerf the passive. That's his
Mhm.
that is the problem with Marty Karas is his passive.
He like on top of Hunters being late game,
Yes.
he's got a late game passive.
Yeah. Now don't get me wrong.
So it's like
They've
yeah.
nerfed the hunter builds a good bit, like to make it where you have to
Sure.
kind of go power pin the build that I'd been like trying to convince everybody was good.
Mhm.
Turns out it is now. I'm just before my time. This is
Well,
simple as
I
that.
I
think we
mean,
were both saying it. You get
Yeah.
boots are a crutch. Up
Boots are a
until
crutch.
you enlighten folks,
Yep.
and then they removed them.
And they removed them. I'm just ahead of the game, man. I am concerned about next patch with them taking power off of everything and buffing tanks is literally what they've said. That does concern me. To a slight degree. I do think power needs to be taken off, like in general, but I do
I
worry
think
about
bots need to be taken off and extra stats need to be taken off and bloated
yeah.
items need to be taken off. But you
We'll
know,
see.
like I'm the nerf meister. I
Yeah.
say nerf everything.
Yeah.
I don't think anything should be buffed. I think if you're like, oh well, this is really strong now. Okay, nerf that too. You know?
So I do think obviously like sometimes I do think things need to be buffed.
Mhm.
And I think in some aspects we've seen them do a better job of it this season, and in other ways we haven't. Like Vamana is not okay. The changes there that seemed like, oh, maybe this is minimal. No, they were not. They were heavily buffing that character that didn't see really any play, which, you know, makes sense. Like you want to buff him to get him where you get some viability, but for him to become oppressive even after nerfs is a problem. I do think the Hachiman buff, for instance, he's going to see more play. Do I think he's the best hunter in the game? No.
No.
I still don't. I think there's a lot of fanfare around him being the best hunter. I don't think he is. I think people are just like, oh my god, this character I didn't play for the past 2 seasons is
Right.
good now.
Well, it's because his kit was behind, right? And
Mhm.
so when they buffed him, people are saying, well, he's closer to viability now because he was buffed. Let's see how he
Oh, he's getting
blends with
first picked in SPL. Like I don't understand it. I don't think he's that good. He's safe. I think that's what it is. He's safe.
he's safe because he's got the horse and he's got his little stun dash.
Yep.
And he's got the bonus range on his 1. And I don't know, his 2 is whatever. But
something you said does stick with
Oh.
me, Depp. I know it wasn't here
Mhm.
last week. Hey, I have a star on Hachiman now because of Embright and donations, and
That's fucking disgusting.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know what's worse,
Well,
Fro,
no.
is my birthday
fine.
donations list for donations to Guardians Mental Health is, you know, if we reached $150, I would get a second star in Hachiman. And
Why don't you
Backlash
pick a
donated
god
last
that's
night.
good?
Well, because people like Hachiman. That's why. People like watching me play Hachi. So Backlash donated and got us there last night. So I have to or no, I was already there. But now I have to write a new parody song for Smite. So that's the other one. Got some good stuff.
Well,
Coming.
I'm here for that if you need to, bounce stuff off.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. But I will say, I do think Smite has been generally unfun, and especially in Conquest. Like Conquest, I really hope this new season coming up fixes some things, because I think Conquest has been the most unfun it's been in quite some time.
Did you read the show notes before we started?
No.
No, so you have no idea what the show notes say at all?
Nope.
No. Will you real quickly go read the show notes for me? Because it was just ironic that you say that.
Yeah.
No,
read
Depp
them out
used the word
loud.
unfun.
Yeah.
Depp said the game's been unfun.
Yeah.
Intros, games, it's okay. Smite can be unfun sometimes. Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. That's true. It can be.
Blaze out here
But that's okay.
with better transitions than Depp. And he doesn't even know the actual fucking topic.
The show notes, right?
Like, not read the show notes. Yeah, Depp and I were really talking about how Smite just kinda this week for us has felt unfun.
Yeah, if I play other game modes, it's great. It's specifically Conquest.
Specifically
Conquest. Even the RNG
you say that.
with us.
I've been enjoying Conquest because I've been playing more Conquest.
Yeah, it's for me, it's the I really don't like the catch-up mechanic of the gold camp. I just don't like it.
Oh, of like never really being ahead.
Yeah. Like, you
Yeah.
have to run it down. You have to run it down and be in their jungle constantly to feel like you're actually pushing a lead.
Yeah.
And even then, it doesn't. And see, it's kind of a double-edged sword because that's what's caused me to be enjoying it a bit more. But also, it has kind of been like, well, this is also not been like the most fun because it's almost like an arena, right? Where it's like a DSI is irrelevant. It just is.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
And like Blaze is saying, like it is fun because it's like for me because I'm coming back to it, and it's like even if you fall behind, you're never too terribly far behind. So that is very nice and is very forgiving in that aspect. But
Yeah.
in the games when we were ahead, like it's not about pushing a lead. It's all about just denying them their comeback.
Yep.
Like mechanic
you have
stuff,
to be
right?
on their camp. You have to be on their camp.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not about like, hey, we have a lead,
So-
we have levels, we have gold, we have stuff that they don't. It's just like we have to take anything that they can or anything that we can from them because otherwise they're just going to come back.
Yeah.
So, it's actually made me think about a crazy strategy, and I haven't
Mhm.
seen it done in SPL yet, but I've like thought about it that if I have too big of a bounty on me, do I just go die to a tower?
Yeah.
Or to Gold Fury? Or to Fire
Mhm.
Giant? Do I just go
Mhm.
just get the bounty off of me so there's no
Eliminate
catch-up?
your bounty. Now that you can see how much your bounty is, absolutely.
Like, we haven't really seen it yet, but like that could be a strategy. Like, oh man, I started 5-0. I got a huge bounty on me.
Deny your
Well,
shutdown gold.
denied the shutdown.
Mhm.
Denied the shutdown golden XP.
Yeah.
Bye. Because like that's one of the things I don't know. Like, obviously I've tried Slash the past 2 weeks. That game mode is more sweaty than Joust. I didn't know it was possible.
Oh,
Uh,
absolutely.
I played some arenas, and I do agree. Like, RNG on Assault has been wonky as can be, like awful. But I have more fun playing that than I do having to face the same meta gods in Conquest over and over and over and over and over again.
Well, what got me for one of the assault games that we listed, it's like I was Cthulhu, I was our healer against an E-Shell. How does that? How are they even the same class of healer?
I don't want to bring it up because we've bitched about it so much, but it happened again fucking yesterday to me as well, where it was a fucking Afro, and I was on. It was a tank,
Mm-hmm.
not Terra.
Shiva?
It was the other. What?
Shiva?
Nope.
Sylvanas.
Sylvanas. No. Yamoja. I was on a fucking Yamoja.
Oh, Yamoja's
Healing
great.
against an Afro. Healing against an Afro? Fuck me.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, absolutely. No.
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 Listen,
I've
do I need to throw in that the
outclassed
monkeys
people.
I was healing was Rick, Backlash, Fort, and fucking Bryce? Because I assure you, it was not all right. It was not all right. It was impossible to heal.
What do you
Yeah.
mean?
I've had wild success on Yamoja and Assault.
Yeah, I think Emoji's
Al-
pretty good.
Although I make
I didn't say
healing
Yamoja's not good. It's just
priority.
like her healing compared
to
to the
Afro,
rest of
it's
them
harder to
is
hit.
nothing.
It just feels it doesn't
Yeah,
feel
well,
impactful
it's a skill
sometimes.
shot versus
Link.
an automatic, right?
Well, on top of that, right, because it gives a health shield, they like weight it so heavily, like, hey, you're getting a health shield,
Mhm.
like that the heal is reduced. But then it also, you have the delayedness of it. Like, just because I cast on one person doesn't mean
It
the whole
has to
team's getting it
bounce.
right away. It has to bounce.
Yeah.
And sometimes the bounce pattern it takes makes it so it can't bounce to everybody.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, if there's one person kind of off to yonder and you cast it to the middle and it's like, I'm going right, and then it just can't make it to the, the person off to the left.
Yeah.
I've had that happen a few times.
Yeah.
And I will have to say, now that they literally have the fucking flower item in the game,
Oh, Fabulous Hoops.
yeah, it kind of does what Umoja's heal does.
Yeah.
Granted, hers is for everybody, but
It's good for Assault.
I was having to
specifically.
warn people, stop picking up the fucking flower until you take damage and you lose the health shield.
Yeah.
Because they would literally pick it up and like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, enough. We've bitched and bitched and bitched about fucking assault healers.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Well,
I had my
Fro
fair
and
share
I,
of them say last night.
Fro and I, in those assault games and facing the frustrations that we were there. There was they had like several knockups, and I think it was the one with it was the one where I was Cthulhu. He froze Chernobog, and so they had Chalk, Morgan Le Fay, um, Ishel, and then even Xing Chen with his throw and his little knockup. They had a lot of knockups. And it's like I did have Stone Gaia, but to an extent, like Morgan Le Fay's knockup's fucking wild. Like you
He's
just
good.
you can't get close to her. Chalk's knocking you up, Xing Chen's knocking you up, Ishel's knocking you up. Especially
I feel like the
on
duration
the
on
big
hers
boys.
isn't ever brought up either, but because it knocks
Yeah.
you up and then knocks you
And
back,
then
you're up in the
pushes you
air for like a
back, yeah.
fucking second.
Yeah. Like I was unable to use abilities with how many knockups they had on their team.
Right.
And Fro and I were thinking like, how could we make an item that just like maybe you're just like knockup immune, like Jormungandr passive, right? Like have some negative effects tied to it, but like you just can't get knocked up. Like that would be
Yeah.
great.
I mean, you can make it where you can't get knocked up every. And it goes on an internal cooldown of like 20, 30 seconds or something like that. And then, I mean, look at Sphinx Bobble, right? Like it has drastic negative effects to it, which is why no one picks it up anymore.
Right.
But I mean, there's obviously the way of doing that where you take, yeah, you're awarded not being able to get knocked up once every 20, 30 seconds, but maybe you use like 10% of your prots or something like that.
Why the fuck does Sphinx why is that exist for mages when mages literally have Chronos Pendant and Spear Desolation? Why isn't there a physical one? If you want Sphinx Bobble to be bought in any, that passive needs to be on a physical item. Physical gods do not have any sort of reduced cooldown ability like that. Don't say Genji's. Don't fucking I saw your mouth open. No, Genji's doesn't count. All right? No, exactly.
No, you just get a Guan Yu on your team.
We're on the same page, right? So
Right.
why doesn't that item exist for physical? So they have that option.
Isn't it Segment Scepter or whatever it's called? Doesn't that have a cooldown? Like when you, but that's directly related to
Sekhmet
healing.
Scepter, it's 10% on the item, and then you can get, after healing yourself or an allied god with an ability for the next 6 seconds each time you damage an enemy god, your
Yeah, that's the
non-ultimate
closest.
abilities cooldowns are reduced by half a second. It can only occur once per second, and the effect may only occur once
Dude,
every
so
12.
much text. Yeah, I wish we
Yeah.
had something
Okay,
that
so
was like
that
Sphinx
right
Bobble.
there,
That one's
I heard
that one's to healing. I get it. That one's to healing.
2 to 3 conditions before
Sphinx
you
Bubble
even
has
get that.
physical power on it.
It does.
Yeah, because that. What's that?
You can buy it.
You can buy it.
Physical can buy it.
Yeah.
I did not realize physical people can buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can build 50% Cupid, dude. You just lose prots.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That kind of
But
changes
even
my
still,
argument a
there's
little bit.
not as many offensive items for physical gods that have cooldown on them. We've got Soul Eater, Jotuns, Hydras, Trans, Erendite. As far as like just straight physical items, and most of those are only 10% with the exception of Jotuns.
I was gonna say
Right?
too, like
The rest of them are defensive.
I would like us to get like a new ADC item. That's not because like I don't consider Charge Blade to be an ADC item. I know it was bought earlier in the season, but like every class got new items except for ADC.
I will have to say with ADC, what more do you want?
I want.
You have
I
like
can,
damn near every possible interaction with your autos to be had.
Yeah, but I think trying to do something to get people off of crit could be really
Okay.
interesting. Like even if it's, oh, I don't know. I mean, like in the sense of we lost Ichabod, right? And I actually liked Ichabod. I think Ichabod made it where you had to like play around part of your kit a little bit, and having
Hmm.
that there was kind of nice. Or giving us an actual anti-heal item that's not crit, because Toxic Blade's not an option for us. There's no power on the item. That doesn't make any sense for an ADC to go that item
I literally told Ajax I will never pick that item unless
ever again.
absolute like I have to be going against 4 to 5 healers before I pick that up on a hunter because of the 0 power. The 0 power means I will buy Oboe first.
0 power means like I better have a better benefit than just anti-heal.
Anti-heal.
I mean, I
Especially
know it
when
has
you
Ichabod
have
passive
shit
on
like
it.
Contagion and Pestilence that are like anti-heal plus.
Like, I think it'd be cool to get something. I mean, because you look at Divine.
Hold up.
Divine's
hold up.
insane.
Hold up. Remove Frostbound from hunters completely. Gone. They can't buy it. Right?
Yeah.
Toxic Blade now has that. Right?
Oh, the
has a slow or some sort of poison applied to them along with the
rune?
anti-heal.
Yeah, well,
Make
see that
it
their argument's going to be
blade.
that they're going to have the argument of, well, that's what Envenom Deathbringer is.
Yep.
I didn't say that reduces their damage when crit.
Yes, it used
We're
to
talking
slow.
it also
beyond-
slows them.
They took
Does
the
it
slow
not
off
slow
of it.
anymore?
Yeah, they took
Oh.
the slow off of it.
Well, yeah,
I
because
just
being
think-
crit and slow, that's not fun.
I just think giving me something that incentivizes me building attack speed, or even if it has power pin on it, like I'm more objective to buy it than if I just had Toxic Blade, which I don't want to buy. Like it doesn't fit in any build that I want. Give me the idea of like being able to hit autos and slowing down the enemy autos is intriguing to me. Not, or if I hit an auto, I can steal part of their attack speed. I just think there's things there that could be interesting to allow. If you look at ADC right now, it's second solo lane but it just gets dove by 4 people more often. And to give me a way to counterplay other than just like, hey, I really hope I hit every single auto known to man. I get that's what the role is. But give me some sort of counterplay in my kit would make it feel at least a little bit better. Because right now, obviously people aren't building crit as much. But like as soon as I hit late game, I shred everything down. And I know there's going to be this nerf to power. And I think just giving some type of utility to hunters, because they did this with healers, like they did all this utility stuff. And even hunter passive sucks, by the way. Hunter passive is garbage. I just think having some type of item that would incentivize me to do something utility wise for my team, I'd be interested in. Because like you said, I'll buy Oboe first, and Oboe goes hard. Speaking of which, if you want to have a fun time in Conquest, this is fun. I've done it in Comp the past 2 weeks. If you're going to ban 4 My Gods...
Hold on. Why are we being so dumb here? We're being dumb. Why can't Toxic Blade just... Right, we could ride the anti-heal, right? We can keep riding that out. And have it chain lightning like fucking Divine Ruin does.
That's what I said. Yeah, give me Divine.
Right?
Yeah.
Or it could literally...
A physical equivalent of Divine Ruin. Right.
Just give me... Divine Odibo. There you go. Just make it a glyph. I'd buy it. I'd buy Odibo as it is.
Now there we go.
I'm not even saying it has to...
Glyphs for Oboe.
Well, I'm not even saying it would have to...
What if you make one glyph an anti-heal, one glyph, I don't know.
I had a really bad idea that I'm not going to say, because I am not...
let's do it. No, we're here for it. We're here for it.
Just give me a Fatalis one, dude. Just give me...
right.
Give me Fatalis glyph and make it cost 4,000 gold.
There we go.
I'd invest in that.
No, I was thinking it wouldn't have to be Oboe like how it does damage. It could literally just be applying the anti-heal, right? Like, because hunters do damage.
Yeah.
But then I was also thinking, man, they could also have it so... Riggs is like motherfucking route here giving hunters more shit, but whatever. They could also apply an anti-heal aura to somebody that you're autoing, right?
Or hear me out.
After X amount of autos.
What if the glyph takes away the damage on Odibo, but makes it anti-heal every target hit? So it doesn't proc damage, it procs anti-heal.
Hold up.
Because that would be cool.
Hold up. And this would be a way to remove or Toxic Blade from the game in general, to just make it completely obsolete and remove it from the game in general.
Yep.
Oboe, right? We got Oboe.
Mm-hmm.
It has the 2 glyphs, right?
Yep.
Got your anti-heal one that you said. We're going to keep the lightning passive. We're going to keep the lightning passive regardless, right?
Yeah.
Got the anti-heal aspect to it, right?
Okay.
And then remember the aspect that was like, oh, it gives pen, right? Toxic Blade gives pen. The other glyph is a shred. The lightning shreds.
What about instead of shred, make it old Ichabod?
It reduces power?
Yeah, it already does.
Like,
That's what Toxic Blade does now.
The reduced attack speed and increases yours.
The lightning reduces attack speed and power?
That'd be really, really strong. It'd have to be really low.
Well, it could just do one or the other.
It could be like
stacking
up to 2 times. Like 5%.
I think tanks need love too.
If that existed, if Oboe existed with that glyph, you know what I think might also come in? If it existed with the anti-attack speed or power.
What's that?
The red bluestone.
Yes.
Because you could like literally imagine
Red
Chiron and you just
fun.
slap that on it, right? You're already going power pen with a Kins and a fucking Oboe. Like that's already in your build, and now you just switch from the blue bluestone to the red bluestone, and you are like maxing attack speed while, oh my god.
Or you could get rid of Griffin, or you could get rid of Odibo and just give Griffin Wing a glyph. That'd be cool too, and just make one of them.
We're about glyphs.
Griffin Wing's one of those weird newer items. I don't know if that tree needs. I think they glyph the old tree.
They don't need to glyph that tree. I was just memeing. But back to the Odibo thing. If you want a fun start in Conquest, lock in Apollo. You just go tier 2 Odibo, and I promise you'll have a good time. I've done it in comp twice. Someone banned 4 ADCs against us in a comp game, and I was like, "Oh, this is an Apollo game, easy." I do think, like, for instance, I do think we got like some really good changes for supports. I think Cannoneers is being slept on right now. That item is insane. That item is really, really good.
It's one of those where they're buffing it until it's viable, and then it's going to be so fucking strong. Yeah,
I played it in Arena.
2,000 gold.
Stat wise, I was looking at it the other day, and I'm like, man, if this passive just meant anything in Assault, I would pick it up.
Yep.
But the stats are solid.
Have you read Phalanx?
No,
it gives 81 prots, dude. It gives 81 physical prots now.
So it's got the 60 on the
That's
the
like
item.
25% of your max fizz prots.
And 7 of each.
As long as you get the stacks going.
Right.
Yeah, it is. That item's insane. So I know while Riggs will listen to this and be like, "Oh my god, hunters need something." Look, man, you guys got Phalanx. That item's sick. I do think I would like to see Warriors get a little bit of help. I think they need some interesting item changes too. Like, I think the knock-up one's really good. I can tell you guys that if that knock-up item existed, I'd buy it on Tsukiyomi. Because I think that is the problem with Tsukiyomi too, is that he gets knocked up.
Knock-up item? I'm sorry, did I completely miss you talking about Heavy Stone?
Yeah, no, I started to mention it. I tried to throw it to you to further elaborate.
Yeah,
I said an item that's like Jormungandr's.
Dude, that must have been like the 1 second I walked away to like let the dog out. I did completely miss the whole, because like Depp and I had this. I don't know how much you went into this, but like Depp and I had a full-fledged conversation about Heavy Stone existing.
I'd be about it.
And I don't know, throw it into the protection tree where what are the other items? Like the erosion, that item tree. Make it one of those.
Even if you put the Heavy Stones passive on a cooldown, right?
That's what I was saying, like 20-30 seconds, it's still good.
Oh sure. Or well, like Archdruid's Fury, I don't think anyone's building that.
Nah, not since the beginning of the season.
Right. So like this effect can only occur once every 15 seconds. Like that's more than enough to happen twice in a protracted fight. So
if this item is brought in the game, I'm immediately buying on Jingwei.
Yeah, just change the passive to Archdruids.
I'm immediately buying on Jingwei.
Protection. You get health, MP5, and
you laugh and say that you're gonna buy it on Jingwei.
I will.
But You know how hard it would be to actually knock her up in a meaningful way at that point?
I know.
Because if you
Yeah.
I would do it
finally
for the
do
memes.
get her with one,
Although,
she's, I'm just going to dash.
would it
Yeah, you could-
trigger on her own one?
Yeah. It's a knock up. So you would not be able to go up and dash out.
Yeah.
I would do it just for the funnies. I do think that's a good item though, because I think that would be something even assassins would look at. Like I said, if that existed, Tsukiyumi, I'm looking at that item.
Well, yeah, I mean, assassins are already commonly thinking about picking up like one defense item, right? And usually it's something like a spirit. It's usually something to deal with crowd control or help them when they get crowd control, like a spirit robe or a mantle of discord, right?
Yep.
Either for the protections or for the stun CC immunity. This essentially would be another one. Like if you are going against like a Geb Jormungandr front line and that's what's bothering you, the front line can't peel you now.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, they could slow you, but they can't peel you.
Well, and only the first one out of, every 15 seconds or whatever. Like, obviously it's limited, but it's still, it doesn't
And a lot of
completely
times you
deny
just gotta
your...
survive that Geb shockwave, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've played plenty of games the past week and a half where I just got absolutely CC'd on cooldown. Like, these DR changes mean nothing to me because I am CC'd out of, like, to my death.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, how fucking frustrating is it that every CC for you, like the DR changes are irrelevant to you, but then like the enemies, like they're just, your CC tickles their butthole and they just keep walking.
Right.
I'm still mad about the DR changes and how it affects Cupid, but that's a whole other ballgame I could get into.
Excuse
be
me,
like
you want to
that
elaborate
sometimes.
on something I'm apparently missing here?
Your ult plus your 1 and just DRs it completely and doesn't matter.
Well, yeah.
And this feels bad. Plus they nerf the ult, so like you can move faster and just walk out of it really easily. So you add that in plus DR changes and then you're big sad. You're big Cupid sad.
They need to buff Cupid.
Cupid shuffle. Skin. I've said it.
Out.
Anyways, moving on.
His ult needs to just stun. Always. Right?
Yeah.
And his passive just needs to increase the duration, especially with all the DR changes that happened.
I agree, Fro, but they're not going to buff that god. He was too good for too long during season 9.
Your whore mouth.
So I love Cupid. I love Cupid, but I'm telling you right now, they're not buffing that god.
No. So yeah, heavy
It's just
stone.
been
Throw
so
him
unfortunate. An item that Cupid would love to use has existed for so long.
What's that?
A starter item that Cupid would love to use has existed for so long, and he can't use either because it just fucks his ult. That's Crusher and Bluestone.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
A Cupid with Bluestone
Heart
in lane
was a Heart
would
Seeker?
never have to
I've
leave.
built it. I've built it. It is wild.
Yeah, I've done it. I have done it too, right? And you just kind of accept that your ult's just a cripple or it's a pause. Like you just have a fucking giant
old
pause
X-ball
button.
ult?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's all it is. I've done it. It still does crazy damage, right? At that point, you just accept that you're not. It's a cripple field.
Yeah.
That's it. It's a cripple field. You don't have to leave lane. Like you just sustain. Like you between the 15 and P5, because Cupid doesn't really use that much mana. He really doesn't, right? Because you usually hold your 1 until you have a good shot. You're not just usually throwing it out there all willy-nilly. You're not dashing around randomly. You only heal when you are missing health or your allies. And then if you're healing your allies, you don't worry about the mana, right? So it's just really
his
good.
ult and his 1 are the only abilities that increase their cost with leveling it.
That's something I never
Otherwise,
realized as well. Is that
his
part of the
2 and his
reason
dash
also
are
why he just
aesthetic
never
costs.
runs out of mana?
Yeah. Well, and if you collect all the hearts, or if an ally collects the hearts, you get
There's your mana
more
back.
than your mana.
Well, I knew that. I just never realized. I guess I just didn't realize that his 2 and his 3 don't up in cost when you level them.
Nope. His 2's a 50 cost and his 3's a 70 cost.
Because in all honesty, like once you get your trans built, you just don't ever have to worry.
You don't
about
ever have
keeping.
mana problems, right? And that's
No,
part of
it's beyond you never have mana problems. You just don't worry about mana. But yeah, so it'd be nice if you could go Bluestone on him, but you can't. And then Crusher.
Right.
Crusher would be fucking great, right, for the ult, because you want pen on him. It gives attack speed, it gives power, it gives all the things that he wants, right?
Right.
It literally the 3 fucking things he wants. And a passive that theoretically, right, it does in general actually, just help his ult and his 1 do even more damage. But it breaks the mez instantly. Same thing with Bluestone, right? So it's just like, don't get to use 2 items that would be great, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is Hydrod's Cupid good?
You say Hydra Cupid? Yeah, it's fucking amazing, dude.
Like you just dash and then hit the 1?
No, you fucked up. No, you guys
dash
fucked up already.
auto 1 auto?
Yes.
Oh my god, dude.
Dude.
Oh my god.
And then hold up. Hold up. No, and you're not done yet, right? And then immediately cast out the 2, right, while you're boxing them, right? And then auto again for you get the 3 like right in a row, and you get to do the Cupid thing because you play enough Cupid, you know what I'm talking about, where you like pick up the hearts as you are boxing.
Yep.
And and if there's an alt in there at all too, Hydra Cupid is actually, I use it sometimes to get to my 50 or 40% Cupid now.
Yeah.
So
well, you can also do the malicious crit upgrade.
Yeah, you get
to get bonus cooldown.
What's kind of crazy,
use the healing item to gain more cooldown.
You don't have to go that. You go Death Toll. Because Death's Embrace gives cooldown every time you let auto.
Well, there you go.
So you do that. I talked about that as soon as they released the new version of Death's Embrace. Death's Embrace Malicious Deathbringer Artemis is wild. Because your cooldowns are just insanity.
Death's Embrace.
Yeah, every time you hit an auto, you get cooldown. It's really, really good on like Amaterasu and stuff.
The Blaze.
I did not.
I have a question for you.
What's up?
What should I use as your image in my streams?
What do you mean?
Sorry, I as a side thing, I'm also surprise everyone, Fro's coming back to streaming. What I'm trying to set up some PNGs, right, for like the reactive light up PNGs, and I have no idea what the fucking to use for you.
I can send you one.
And what's that supposed to mean?
I can send you, like, I have one. I can just send you one. Like, I can just send you my avatar that I have for stream.
Is it your logo?
Yeah, I just have a copy of it saved. I can just send it to you.
All right, see, because I was kind of thinking about that. You can go and send that to me, but like, all right, so for me, I'm using mine, right? The flaming frog or the frog with the sword.
Yeah.
But then for Depp, if you look in recording chat, I found like a perfect one for him.
This message isn't here for me, Fro.
In the actual voice chat, Depp. In the voice chat.
Oh, that might be the largest reason why I never use this. 2 pieces of corn. All right.
Right. And then I found a potato for Nev. And then I found this wonderful fucking squirrel. I got Discord. These are on my laptop or on my PC, so I can't open it right now because of recording. But,
okay.
So I'll take a picture of this one that I got for Riggs. That is. Oh, this is really gonna fuck with you, Depp. But I'm gonna post this in the show notes chat because. Oh wait, no, I can't do it without joining. Hold up.
All right.
And then I got this for Riggs.
Okay.
Right, which I thought was.
Dude.
That's perfect.
I thought that was pretty fucking perfect too, right?
Yeah. I mean, like maybe if his tail was can we have a spaghetti rat where his tail's a noodle?
That was the other thing I was gonna do, was a bowl of spaghetti for Riggs, and I was really torn on which one because I'm like, man, this rat is really good. There's also another one that's just a squirrel with an acorn in his mouth, but like he's standing in a way. It's like, yeah, Riggs with nuts in his mouth. It's perfect.
Yeah.
And I guess here's a picture
I feel like
of
you would
the
approve
potato
of that message
if you really want a picture of the Nev Tato. It's not actual Nev Tato. I was gonna ask her if I can get Nev Tato, but if he doesn't have the image for me, here's the
I need to set up a PNG thing for when I'm off camera. I keep meaning to do it. I actually was just gonna order one. I
It's
just haven't done it yet.
incredibly easy.
Yeah, I've been lazy. I was gonna pay for one to get made
Don't
and go from there.
don't. If you're just
Don't.
doing the PNG, don't. Or do you mean that like you want like an avatar of yourself drawn?
It'd be an avatar. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Well then, yeah.
The person that
are
does
you in
my
my D&D
emotes-
Discord?
I
Oh, do you
might.
already have another artist? Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say the person that does my emotes makes them, so I was gonna talk to her.
Okay.
Shout out to Dapio. She has an avatar in Smite that's super sick.
Is an avatar
Hmm.
in Smite?
Yep, the wheelish avatar they did for the community
okay,
birthday
okay.
celebration. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Also, this is kind of a thing. I'm slowly
thing.
working on doing a 2D VTube model. I don't want to go the 3D model. Just the 2D one, which is essentially just like an image that.
Okay.
That one's gonna be a long time coming because I gotta actually draw some shit.
Oh, there's a yin yang fishy fish.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yeah, I asked I asked Dapio if she could draw that because I wanted to. Most of my stuff's getting rebranded. I have other stuff under commission right now that I'm waiting to get, but we're rebranding with that because that's actually it's based off the tattoo I have on my side.
You wouldn't happen to have that as a vector, would you?
You know,
If not, I can do
working
some
things
editing.
out. Working things out in the episode. Here we go, guys.
Maybe.
Oh yeah, well I mean, God, we didn't
know-
really
you
have
know,
anything
sometimes-
besides tangent and items.
Yeah,
No.
well, so Fro, I think I've worked up quite possibly the best. There's now a 60% Cupid build for you.
All right.
Do you want to hear it? Because, you know, while you're discussing pictures, and I'm like, well, what can we do for Cupid here? So, unfortunately, doesn't have trans, right? That's the only downside. Upside, you got Death's Embrace with the hitting autos getting cooldown. Malicious Deathbringer, hitting autos getting cooldown. All right. Hydras,
We're at 10%.
bigger autos, 10% cooldowns. Sekhmet's Scepter, 10% heal, hitting abilities get cooldowns, or damage enemy gods get cooldowns. Now, hear me out, because we're still pretty low on crit, and we're not quite there with cooldown yet. We only have 20%
That'd be fail
cooldown,
not.
right?
Right.
Fail not, Sphinx's Bauble.
So still not much crit. You're only sitting at like, what's that, 40%?
40%, but the fail not passive should give you more.
Only when you
With
ult.
hitting, well, only when you ult, but sure.
So you got 40% crit.
Right. Which is
Sphinx's
approximately
Bauble
one,
takes you
one
from
of every
50,
two autos.
takes you to 50% cooldown.
Right.
I'm torn because I feel like it needs more crit for that part of it to actually work. Right?
Well,
But then the only item
an
in
additional
there.
20% crit when you ult.
What's. Yeah, but it's still not much. What's the scepter when you heal? I feel like that might be something you swap out as necessity and pick up.
So
like
it gives you 10%, so you can swap it out for trans. But so this
fuck,
one's
that's giving you
after
cooldown
healing
as
yourself
well?
after healing yourself or an ally for the next 6 seconds each time you damage an enemy god, your non-ultimate ability cooldowns are reduced by half a second. So
that's giving you some of your cooldown. That's unfortunate.
that's what I'm saying. It's the bonus cooldown and 10%.
Because I was thinking it really needs like a rage in there somewhere if possible.
You were thinking for crit, but no, this gives you 10% of that.
Or maybe
cooldown that
you
you
drop that. Maybe you just drop that aspect, right? Like you don't worry about the crit.
Yeah, maybe you just
Don't
go
worry about that
attack
crit
speed.
cooldown.
Pin.
What's that?
You can just go. Well, I guess you do need the crit because of the malicious, right?
Right.
You can go as ability
Well,
based.
no. If you drop malicious, then you just don't worry about the crit cooldown at all, right?
Yeah.
Because that item, all that provides is
Well,
that.
if you drop malicious, you don't have to get fail not.
No,
and
you keep
can
failing
get
out
Right.
because it's stat stick.
So you
That's-
get
well, I mean, you
you
can
get-
swap it out for 20% something else.
trans,
like
and then what other item has?
I would grab a Jotun's.
10% cooldown.
yeah. You can go trans Jotuns.
Or yeah,
No, you wouldn't need to go trans Jotuns. You could just drop the trans, grab the Jotuns. That's your 20%. Now you still have a whole
get like Titan's Bane or something.
open item slot.
That'd be good.
Because then it would be focused heavily on hitting autos, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And essentially picking up your hearts.
And you
So,
can glyph up the Jotuns, whichever way.
Yeah.
Because malicious is
Ooh.
not there anymore.
either that or see, you'd be damn near max attack speed, so you wouldn't even really need another
Dominance?
attack speed item.
Dominance is so good.
Yeah,
Get the
and
extra pin.
that would secure your MP. You'd be 100% set on your mana.
Yep.
Yeah.
That might be it. That might be it. And if it's not dominance, I'd probably go Heartseeker. Just because at that point you're all hit like a fucking truck. But
Yeah, you taking them tanks
Yeah.
down.
You know,
I guess I'd have
That's
to
what
see the
it'd be
attack
like.
speed. Maybe if you weren't max
I don't think
attack
you have
speed,
a lot.
if you
You don't have a lot of attack speed. With
you
this
don't need
build,
it on
actually.
Cupid though.
You know,
Literally,
You
if
have it on
you
your
build
3?
2 attack speed items on Cupid, you sit at like 2.3% attack speed. He gets 30% in his by leveling his 3. He has
That's
an
true.
item in he has an item in his kit. Like you literally have to be careful not to overcap on Cupid.
yeah.
That's
So
why a lot of
let's
people used to
see
give me
if
shit when I would do Silver Branch builds on Cupid. They're like, he doesn't even have a stem. It's like, yeah, he does. And he's riding that motherfucker all game long.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
You know,
there's options. But yeah, I think maybe you just drop the crit aspect of it and then ride out the other ones. It would open up the build a little bit too.
solid option. I posted it in the chat. I'll post it in this one too, so you have it for later.
Alright. My cat just came up and started fucking headbutting me and trying to headbutt the microphone. Know what that
Oh
means?
no. That means do we have a new CC for the challengers? Wow,
Even
Fro
read
Double
the
G.
old CC?
Did we even read the old CC? We didn't.
About
It was
bad
Riggs. It was
pronunciation.
just Riggs. It was Riggs posting over powered abilities. I don't know if we necessarily need to read it. There wasn't a lot of community involvement. Community do better.
Although, to be fair,
Hmm.
we also need to do a little bit better as hosts too, is getting
Oh,
our
sure.
engagement up and a little more promoting.
Yeah.
I think one of us needs to hop on Reddit,
You
as
know?
bad as I need to say, and promote once or twice.
We might need to do that. We'll
I
figure
mean,
it
real
out.
talk.
I
We've
think
always
we have
kind of
a
like
Reddit.
pulled back the curtain, right? We've never
Yeah.
really cared too much about that. Viewership is definitely down, like
Okay.
at like an all-time low.
Ooh.
But it's also like summertime. We're an old
Summer,
podcast. We
yeah.
have not tried to promote at all in like 3 years.
Yeah.
So, and like the lack of guests, kind of like there's been numerous
Lack of
things. Like
guests.
we need
It's,
to we need to work on our end a little bit more. We've been trying to bring
Yeah.
in some fresher content, which has been helping and all that, but you can't just like make fresh stuff and be like, all right, show up now.
You know? It'd be like that sometimes. Although
Honestly, everything's all backlash is
367
fault.
plays in the last 7 days. That's not bad.
No, but if you look at like we used to get that per episode. And then if you go
Most
like
of
a
it's
month
on
ago,
release
we'd get
day.
like, yeah. I'm just saying, no, they are down. They're not
Sure.
like crazy down. Like our numbers are still
Some
great.
of
Like
it's-
I'm not
some of
talking
it's a
shit.
summer
I'm just
thing.
like, I'm just saying in general.
Yeah. Actually, this past week, phenomenal. Don't know what did it. It could be
Riggs
it could
at
be the
half
meme
mast.
title. Oh yeah, half masters. Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right,
Week
I got
before,
thank yous.
week before that, week before that. Oof. Let's do better, Bocce.
So, thank you to all of our wonderful patrons who help us improve the podcast. Cat is fucking attacking the microphone. Thank you to Aries Steel, Asbestos Dog, Bria Chia Pet, Weatherman Keith, The Big Red, Jade Flagon, Baseball Griff, Bombi, Danny Boy, Caveman, Neo, Coffin Monkey, City Arlets, Gilly, Snorlax, Weatherman, Audio, Saramber, K-Brojo, Famous Freak, Stoffmeister, Backlash, Saydowns, Dr. Godfucker, Lantern, Reese, Warlord, Yo, Batskid, Echo Dunk, Duck, Necros, Adderjoe, Riggs, Dracon Prime, Glen Wiggle, Granite Boys, Camel Hoss, Void vs. Void, Endbright, Sloppy Satch, Scion, Gemini, Batman, Sandman, Aquasoft, Kilowatt Man, I'm a Hater, Mr. Man, Colorado, Amber Bug, Folk Hero.
Yeah.
I forgot to say
Woo.
and.
And
It's because there's Big Red at the end, right?
yeah.
I just want to say
And you
that.
see him on the end, but you move him forwards, but he's still on the end.
But he's
Yeah.
still
Still
on
there.
the end. Still there.
Yeah.
Try to get away from him, and there's the fucking Big Red drawing you back in.
Here's the big red.
We're done.
Well,
Goodbye.
Fro.
Bye.
Yeah.